Hey y'all, thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video. The purpose of this is to give you an idea of what I do and how it can help you. So my name is Adam Hirsch. I go by many different titles. One of the best ones I've come up with lately has been a neurocentric therapeutic exercise coach or a neurocentric performance coach. And it kind of depends on which end of the spectrum you're coming to work with me or seeking help with. Whether it's I've got pain and sort of a joint or back or orthopedic issue, or I've had a performance plateau and I just can't figure out how to get past it. There are two ends of really the same spectrum when it comes to looking at things from the perspective of our nervous system. That is our brain and really our central and peripheral nervous system as well. So, when coming to work with me, I'm going to look at things from the perspective of your brain and your nervous system and what are the inputs that it's receiving. A lot of the time when it comes to exercise or maybe physical therapy or sports performance, we're looking at a lot of the outputs. That is, how fast can you run, how high can you jump, how long can you go, how much weight can you press, etc. And that's a measurement of output. But I'm going to look at it from what are the inputs we're receiving that allows us to create that output. The inputs are there's a multitude of inputs. We've got 5 basic senses. We have our eyes, our ears, our nose, that is scent, our mouth, and then I'm just going to use my hands to demonstrate touch, but really we feel with a lot of different things. So sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Problems with any one of those senses can actually improve or affect our performance, our physical performance, that is. And it can affect the pain that we experience or the ease at which we maybe get injured or experience a re-injury of some sort of a chronic issue, be it a low back or a knee or shoulder or neck or whatever it is that's bothering you. So we look at 3 things, input, integration, and output. So an example I like to give is typing on a keyboard. I press a key, the C key, and that's the input, the signal from the keyboard. The integration is what happens in the computer, the processor, to then create the output, which is on the monitor. I should see a letter C. Okay? Now say for example I hit C and it should be a lowercase, and on the monitor it shows an uppercase C. Okay, barring that caps lock is on, that might be a little problem. That's strange. I wanted a lowercase c. Or what if even worse, I hit C and a Z comes up? Well, that's a problem. It's not the input, it's the integration and output. The processor's not creating the right output. Or what if I hit C and nothing comes on? So then how can I change or work with the processing inside the computer to get the right output? Or another example would be, driving a car. If I'm trying to get it to steer and turn right, when I turn left, it goes the right amount, but when I go right, it doesn't go as far. What's the problem? Is it me, the driver? Is it something in the drivetrain? Is the engine not producing enough power to the wheels going to the right? Is there a computer issue? There's a lot of computers in cars these days. So we're going to look at it. I'm going to look at it from that perspective of where is the problem coming. So more in the physical sense of, say for example, we have a shoulder issue. That is, whenever I grab something, my shoulder hurts. Is the problem coming from the sensory inputs? Maybe coming from my hand, or maybe my wrist or my elbow? Is it the shoulder itself? Is it somewhere else in the body that's not stable, and my shoulder has to do a lot more work? So there's a lot of ways to look at a problem. Really, rarely is the site of the problem, speaking of pain, rarely is the site of the problem the source of the problem. Okay? So we just kind of went over a little example there. We could have 3 different individuals all presenting with limited shoulder abduction, difficulty raising their shoulder. One person could have trouble with that, perhaps because of some neck issues. Maybe there's a vision problem or vestibular problem that's affecting their ability to stabilize their neck, and therefore they can't, this is called abduction, lift their shoulder. Another individual with the same problem may be experiencing that because of an old hip injury they experienced, maybe a fall or a sporting accident. This hip isn't as stable, and because of the way the body is interrelated, our opposing joints, that hip problem could be contributing to our inability to kind of move this shoulder. And another individual, it might actually be a breathing problem. Perhaps they've been an asthmatic and have had trouble with their breathing mechanics. And as a result, they don't actually stabilize through this side of their trunk very well, and that affects their ability to move the shoulder. That's just a small example of how one physical problem can have a multitude of different causes for different individuals. So if and when we work together, the programming is very individualized. You could call it bespoke, perhaps, in that the answer is really in the history of the individual. There could be one, or there could be multiple things contributing. And often as we work together, we start to peel back different layers of the onion. We fix this shoulder problem, great, and actually, now this thing's kind of going on. So, not that we're all broken, but what happens when we work together is as we get more, improve our performance, we also improve our resilience. That is, once we resolve these issues, rather than continuing to have to deal with the shoulder or deal with the ankle periodically and go get some work done on it, we kind of solve the problem. And then if there ever is a problem with it again, time and time again, my clients say that they bounce back way faster than they did before. So we become more resilient. It's not that we're never going to get hurt again, okay? If not, if we're living life freely and participating in it, but we're going to become stronger and more resilient. Now, also another great benefit of this type of work is that we recognize the improvements very quickly, whereas in other maybe training programs or therapeutic programs, it may be conceptual or maybe more protocol based. That is, we have a shoulder, I'm just going to keep going to the shoulder, a shoulder problem. These are the exercises that should help. External rotations, empty cans, and we do some stuff for the scapula, maybe some stretches, and it'll start feeling better. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. You do your exercises regularly, and you're going to start to know some improvements. And I find time and again with my clients that we may have to go through several different exercises, but when we find the right ones, the results are very quick and tangible and noticeable. That is, wow, I'm a lot stronger when I do that, or wow, my balance is way better now that we just did that exercise. So rather than just saying, keep doing this and I promise you'll get better, you'll recognize it and realize it right away. And we have many, many tools to solve problems with. I work a lot, not just with the body, we're working with the brain. A lot of times doing exercises for our eyes or our inner ear, our vestibular system, have very, very powerful and potent effects on our midline stability, commonly referred to as the core, which can affect posture. It can reflect reflexive muscle tone, joint stability, strength, so many things. It's not everybody has to work on it, but a lot of people that work with me, we're going to be doing a lot of work with eyes and the inner ear, not just because it's fun, but because it's very effective and very potent. Everything is a skill. So if we have poor vision or poor inner ear function or poor joint coordination, that's kind of a skill we developed of poor coordination. Even pain is a skill. If we've experienced chronic pain, we have become skilled at producing that pain when we do this or that or the other thing. So we're also relearning skills. We're relearning the skill of moving this way doesn't produce pain. Or we're relearning the skill or learning the skill for the first time of, when we do this, we increase our strength, or we've increased our speed or our endurance. So that's also what we're in the business of doing is skill development, whether it's for a particular sport or just for life. We're trying to improve your skill set to handle the sport of life, or the sport of whatever field, court, sport you want to do. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as to the approach that I take when working with my clients and possibly working with you. It's not different for the sake of being different. It's different for the sake of being effective. And it's really a wonderful gift, one that I have experienced. It's been life-changing for me. It's been life-changing for my clients that I get to continue to work with, and some of those that I don't. I'll say one of the downsides of some of this work is it can be temporary, because great, I feel better. I now have a skill set to kind of manage this and taking care of the pain and or improve this performance issue, and now I can go about and do what I was doing before, okay? Just better. So I'm also not in the business of keeping you here, coming back to get worked on or get adjusted or whatnot. I'm always here for you, but also hopefully we're teaching you to fish rather than just giving you a fish. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for taking the time to watch this all the way through. Email me, text me with any questions or comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.